Well, when I first went in, I was going in as a radio man, and my parents decided to go in earlier than my time. So because I went in earlier, I was undesignated. So I went to my ship undesignated. And so when you undesignated, you got to do trash jobs, So I was first cleaning the ships. Spent probably the first 3 months doing that. Then the second 3 months period, I was in the kitchen. But the moment I got in the kitchen was the moment I stayed in the kitchen. I mean, I saw what they was doing, how they was cooking, and I fell in love and actually became a chef. So I went to culinary school while I was stationed in Charleston first time, and I went to culinary school while I was there. Got my degree. So after my 4 years, I got out and I was a chef. I was cooking everywhere. I was traveling everywhere. That was kind of my goal. That was my desire. That was my passion at the time, and that's what I was doing. Um, Sometime like after 911 happened, I decided to go back in. And so I was going in doing something totally different than being a chef. Um, so I was training in Little Creek. Um, I was going for UDT. And just 2 years into it, actually, there was something strange going on. It's like I could get up or couldn't get up, or waking up but couldn't get up or couldn't walk. And so it's like, what the hell is going on? I mean, that was probably the hardest thing that I've ever faced with, is like just literally not being able to walk. Um, so eventually I went to the doctor, but nobody had a clue or nobody had an understanding of what was going on or whatever. So eventually I was medically discharged um, from the military, and I've probably been to every hospital in the world just about. But I've been to a lot of different hospitals, and eventually somebody titled it um, spinal paraplegia. So how it come about, it's like it's unknown. I mean, nobody. It doesn't have to come from no generation, or it's not a generational thing or whatever. Your mom and daddy doesn't have to have it, because nobody in my family has issues like this. But it just happened, and it tore me up. I mean, it really tore me up, because now I'm a young man who can't walk anymore. I've been enjoying my life and being a chef and things like, and serving my country. That was hard. That was really really hard. I think that was probably the worst time of my life for me, because I definitely was on that, one of those veterans who wanted to commit suicide, because I just couldn't see how I could live like this. Um, and eventually kind of getting into a chair and then going out in the world, and now I'm seeing how the world treats people in the chair. That was like, wow. I mean, it was the worst feeling ever. Now I'm becoming this angry black man, because I'm just like, are you serious? I mean, and especially dealing with a lot of people it was their job and their responsibility to maybe help a person on a bus or on a train or something like that, and they were just so disrespectful themselves. It was like, I can't believe what was going on. And then going into these buildings that's in central downtown areas, and they have no doors, no entryways for wheelchairs. Like, you're really in the middle of downtown, and there's no way a person in a wheelchair can get into these buildings, or they may have a rotating door, and then the door on the side for maybe the wheelchair person, but then that's locked. Like, it's locked. Like, are you serious? Like, able-bodied people can go through the rotating doors, but people like me can't get through the other door because it's locked. So it was just a lot of things that I was going through. So yeah, I spent probably um, a lot of my early years depressed, discouraged, suicidal, and I didn't have any support, because because according to my family, it was kind of a good for me thing. It's like I couldn't believe that they would actually say something like that or feel like that. Like that's what's good for him. You know, I mean, and all the things I did wrong, I don't think I've ever done anything that wrong for them to feel like that. I mean, yeah, that was hurtful. That was really hurtful. So I kind of had to go through all of these things that we have to do at 9 month or one year old trying to learn how to walk or whatever. I had to kind of go through all of that again as an adult, by myself. Even though it wasn't because my diagnosis is incomplete. So the difference of complete and incomplete is, a person that's paralyzed that's complete. I mean, there's pretty much not a chance of gaining mobility, but a person that's incomplete, there is a chance. So it's like I've kind of had that chance already. It's like I went from the chair to a crutches, went from crutches to a cane and a brace. And then, so I did that for a period of time. And then all of a sudden I started to digress and just go all the way backwards. So now I'm going through this all over again and by myself. And at that point, because I've been in Charlotte for now 6 years, so at that point I'm here in Charlotte, and so I'm going through the Charlotte VA, and the Salisbury VA, and they were really, really, really helpful. Helped me to gain a better understanding of what I was going through, the various medicines or devices or surgeries that could help better things. So that was kind of the changing point for me, because I think when I was back home when this originally happened, it's like because nobody had a clue. It's like, well, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So I really got no help at all. But coming here to Charlotte and going through the VAs was really helpful. Like it was all the equipment that I needed. Whether it was wheelchairs or assisted devices. Especially for ADLs. I got those things with no problem. And there was a nurse there that asked me the very first time I was there, have you ever heard of the wheelchair game? I'm like, what is the wheelchair game? Like, well, it's a sporting event for veterans in wheelchairs. I'm like, I am not playing any sports in no chair. I don't even want to be in a chair, so let alone play some sports in a chair. But I because I had to consistently go back to the hospital, on various appointments, she was there. And so the next time I went there, she would say, hey, you ready? You want to go? It's what? And still, no, I do not want to do this. I'm not playing sports in no chair. Eventually, she got to me. And I did. I spent this would be my third year. I spent my first year there, and it was so amazing. I could not believe what was going on. There's like 19 different events there, and I couldn't believe that some of these events that these are able-bodied people would be doing this thing, and it's like these people in wheelchairs are doing this, and they are excelling at it. They are amazing. And then a camaraderie, just seeing all of this group of people, in a wheelchair. And not everybody is paralyzed. Some is amputees, and some is W amputees, and some may just have MS, or some just may be kind of older and just can't walk a long distance. So but it was just a mixture of everybody. But it was a bunch of males and female veterans, and that was the commonality that we had. We all were veterans, whatever the situation was, whether it was a car accident or whether we were serving our country, or whether we just kind of getting older, or whether whatever the case may be. This event brought us all together from all around the world together to share in this whole week full of events. And now, I love the thing. I love it. I've kind of gone beyond the wheelchair games, because I play tennis now. Tennis is in the event of the wheelchair games, but I play tennis, and I'm trying now to teach myself again how to swim. and I'm really getting into working out. So it's kind of taking me beyond the wheelchair games, even though I definitely look forward to those things every year. But I'm going beyond that because I want to do some things. I want to be able to join the Paralympics team, playing tennis. So it's kind of it helped me not so much physically, because physically was a small portion of it, but mentally it gave me a purpose. It gave me something to look forward to, something to kind of build upon, and that was the thing, and that's what I'm going by right now. It's having something to do every day. I'm training every day, and if I'm not working out at the gym, I'm at the pool. I'm playing tennis, definitely. If I'm not doing any of those things, I might be just bowling. But it opened up the door for all of these things that I just never ever thought that would happen. So I'm not just a disabled veteran or a disabled person. I'm actually an athlete now. And I love that title more than anything. I love being a chef, and that was great. I was able to get a lot of things having that title, or even the title of military or vet, or Navy. All of those titles was great for me, but I love this title of an athlete. That right there is the greatest achievement that I've had. I don't care about all the degrees or whatever that I've gotten. They were all good, but this opportunity, for me, I don't know if it would have. I don't know where I would be if I didn't have this. I really don't know, because having to go backwards all again, then having to go backwards and being by yourself, that was really really hard. That was really hard. But this the Veterans Wheelchair Games is much more than a week event for me. I just don't wait for this. This event. I'm active all the time now. And it's just something that inspired me a lot. So that's my story.